Good morning traders and welcome back to Mindfully Trading. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you my weekly outlook for the week commencing Monday the 30th of October. Can you believe we're coming up to the end of October already? Wow, time goes so fast. I'm going to be sharing my analysis for a range of different Forex pairs today, focusing on the major pairs. And I'm also going to finish off with some analysis on Bitcoin. I'm going to be covering some fundamental news analysis as well. And I will include all of these in the timestamps in the video. So if you want to jump to a specific market or pair that you like to trade, feel free to check those out. And before we jump into the news analysis, I just want to give a quick live update to my subscribers, starting off with a huge thank you because we've recently hit just over 50,000 subscribers on the Mindfully Trading channel, which is amazing. Thank you so much for your support, guys. I really appreciate it. It's been a really busy few weeks for me. As you know, subscribers, I've recently given birth to my second child. I've got 2 children under the age of 2 now. I must be mad. And let's just say that sleep is a really nice, rare treat nowadays. And just to keep things exciting, we decided to go out for a big family trip out yesterday, meeting up with my brother, my sister and my nieces in Birmingham. We went to the Sea Life Centre, which was lots of fun, but it wore out my children and I don't know how this works, but they didn't sleep very well last night. So if I look a bit of a zombie today, that is why. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Emily and on Mindfully Trading, I share my journey as I grow and develop as a Forex trader. I've been trading Forex for a few years now. I originally started trading the US stock market about 5 years ago. And as you can probably guess, I am also a full-time mother. So I balance trading with being a mum. It is an exciting adventure and I do my best to share it with you. So let's jump into the analysis for the week, starting with the fundamentals. So I'm here on forexfactory.com. This is the website I like to use for my fundamental analysis because it is free, which is a bonus, and it has lots of information for the different Forex pairs. Now here I've clicked on calendar, it's loaded up all the data, and I automatically have this filtered, this little green icon here. I've filtered it for the high impact news, and at the moment it's on Euro, Pound and USD. I'm going to also add the Swiss franc, Canadian dollar and Australian dollar because they are going to be some of the pairs I'm going to analyse today. I am not going to be looking at the yen pairs and I'm not going to be looking at New Zealand dollar. So let's add those into the blend and see what is going on in the news this week. So starting with today, Monday the 30th of October, we have mainly news on the euro, CPI news for the different countries. CPI tends to be pretty big, and if you click on the icon there in the detail, it just gives you a little bit more information about what the news means and also whether the actual greater than the forecast is good for currency, so that you can see in advance what to look for and how it might affect your pairs. I'm just going to go through these fairly quickly. So Tuesday the 31st of October, we've got some more CPI for the euro, Canadian's GDP, which tends to be pretty high impact, and the US dollar employment cost index, consumer confidence later on as well. Wednesday, the 1st of November, the start of November, and this is the NFP week. So this could be a little bit choppy for the dollar towards the end of the week as we wait for NFP news release on Friday. But on Wednesday, we do have some news for the US dollar. We've got ISM manufacturing PMI, and the federal funds rate and FOMC as well in the evening. So Wednesday could be quite a choppy day because we're waiting for these news headlines. Moving into Thursday, the 2nd of November, we've got Swiss franc CPI. And then for the pound, we've got the official bank rate, monetary policy reports, unemployment claims for the dollar in the afternoon, which happens every week on a Thursday. And then on Friday, we have the all-important NFP for the US dollar and employment rates for Canadian dollar. So there's quite a lot of news coming out this week, focusing on the US dollar, which is one of the countries that I tend to trade a lot, the crossover pairs. From Wednesday onwards, because it's FOMC and the Feds and then Friday's NFP, I think it's probably going to be fairly choppy. So I might be cautious personally trading the US dollar until we get NFP news release at 12:30 GMT for the dollar on Friday. That tends to give a little bit more direction as to whether the dollar is strong or not. But as you can see, each day we have a main currency pair. So the start of the week, there's a lot of news for the euro coming out, which may mean that there are more opportunities to trade the euro because there'll be a little bit more volatility from the news releases. And as the week progresses, as you can see, it's very dollar focused. There's a lot of pound news due out on the Thursday and Swiss franc as well. So I mean, I'm going through this fairly quickly. I'm not focusing too much on what the news means, just the fact that there is a news release, because that's what I do with fundamental analysis. Is I'm not really interested too much on the details of the news. It's more how it affects the market for me, whether it makes something go up or down, and then I will look to trade that volatility on a day trading basis. But if you are interested in learning more about them, you can click on the detail. You can learn more about what it means and how it can affect a currency. It's just really important with news, if you trade a pair, to be aware of any upcoming news that may be due out, especially if you're already in a trade, because it may be wise to adjust your stop loss or just keep a close eye on it. Because if you're in profit and a major news release is due out, if it goes against your trade, it may hinder your progress on that trade. So it's just good to keep an eye on that. But for me, looking at this, for my strategy, I think Monday and Tuesday look to be pretty good days for trading. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I may be a little bit more cautious until the news has come out. And before I start the main technical analysis part of this video, I just want to give a quick shout out to the 5%ers, because they are the prop firm that I trade with. I day trade with the 5%ers. In case you are asking, I do get a lot of questions from subscribers asking what prop firm I use. I've used quite a few different prop firms over the years. I have also used my Forex funds, which recently has had a lot of issues and have had to close their business, leaving a lot of traders in the lurch, literally not being able to access their accounts, which is a really bad experience for those. However, the 5%ers have been a brilliant experience for me. They've been very supportive, very reliable, and they provide a lot of good options for traders who struggle with lack of funding. So before I move on, I'm just going to share which one I'm doing. I am currently in the high stakes program with the 5%ers. As you can see, it's a 2-step program. And one of the main things I love about this program is this little one here, unlimited time to pass. A lot of the time with prop firms, traders can get stressed out because you have a deadline where you need to make so much profit within a set amount of time, and quite often it's just not actually realistic in the market, in the current market conditions. Whereas the 5%ers have removed the time limit and made it an unlimited time to pass, which just makes it so much more accessible for traders. It removes a lot of the stress and a lot of the pressure. So they have a lot of different funding options available, from 5k all the way up to 100k. You do start out on a demo account. You have to prove your skills. You have to be able to hit the profit target, which is 8%, respect the maximum loss, which is 10%. And if you can do that, then you can move on to phase 2, which is basically a repeat, but with less money to hit, less profit target at 5%. And if you can do that again, you get access to the fully funded account, where you can then withdraw profits that are made on that account, and you just take a profit split with the 5%ers, which starts from 80% for the trader, 20% for the 5%ers. So if you want some more information about those, I have created a separate video above. I just wanted to share this with you in case you are struggling with lack of capital yourself. If you have a strategy, if you are profitably, consistently making money as a trader, then a prop firm may be a really good opportunity for you to really level up your skills and be able to make some more money. So here I am on Great British Pound USD. On the right hand side here, you can see my watch list. We are here in TradingView. In case you don't recognize the platform, this is the charting platform that I like to use. I've been using TradingView for a long time. It is brilliant. I will share a link to a video where you can get some more information about TradingView. But here on the right hand side, this is my watch list. And you can see the pairs that I'm going to be focusing on in this video for my technical analysis is Great British Pound, US Dollar, Euro, USD, USDCAD, Australian Dollar, USD, USD Swiss Franc, and then I'll have a little look at Bitcoin as well. I'm going to leave the XBX today. I'll see how long the video goes on for, but I'm not so interested in that right now. So let's start off with Pound Dollar. And I'm just on the weekly chart here, simply to see how last week ended. So recently we've been in this downtrend, and we have been in a little bit of a choppy bit here because we pushed up, we came down, and we've kind of been zigzagging a little bit. But last week, as you can see, we got it's a little bit of a doji, but it's a bearish doji, and there's a huge wick rejecting the upper part here, which looks like it may be continuing this downtrend. These black horizontal lines that you can see are an indicator. A lot of people have been asking me about that. I'm going to just hide it for this video for the moment, but it just basically shows the institutional price levels, because that's where that's involved in my strategy. It's where price can react a lot around But just to keep the chart tidy, let's just remove that for now. And to be honest, pound dollar isn't really exciting for me at the moment, just to give a very general overview, because it is in a range, as you can see. Looking at this very simply, we were up, we've been coming down, we've been breaking the structure, we've been making nice down swings here, so this was a nice downtrend. But as you can see right down here, price broke above this previous lower high, and since then it has just been ranging. It's been very choppy. We've been going up and then we've been coming down, and it's not yet clear whether we're going to be continuing the downtrend, breaking the low here, or whether we're going to break above this high here and are going to be starting a new trend upwards. So I'm just going to highlight that box because for me, we're ranging and we're quite choppy in that area, and it's quite unclear what price is going to do. Are there still opportunities to trade this? Well, there of course are always opportunities to trade. Personally, I would suggest a faster time frame scalping, looking for breaks of previous daily highs and lows, which is my strategy combined with other factors. But when price is ranging like this, I find that A, quality trades do not really occur. It's more risky because the directional bias is not as clear. So I'm going to just simply leave the analysis there for today for pound dollar, because the way that I will choose to analyze this pair for the week will be looking at breaks of the previous daily highs or low combined with other factors over daily key levels, institutional price levels, and Fibonacci. But that's something that I can only really go through on each day as it happens. And for now, there isn't anything clear there. So let's move on to EURUSD. And EURUSD here on the weekly looks very similar to pound dollar. We've got the same bearish doji, but with this huge upper wick rejecting the highs, which could indicate that we're going to be continuing this long downtrend here. You can see more information on the daily chart, but once again, it's very similar to pound dollar, whereby we've been making this really nice downtrend, making lower lows and lower highs, a lower low and a lower high, a new low here. But it broke the previous lower high, and since then it's kind of been trending upwards. Now euro has a little bit more of a pattern to it than pound dollar. It's not as choppy. So at the moment we are in this temporary uptrend on the daily because price has been making higher highs and higher lows. So if price can break this low down here and close below it on the daily, that to me will clearly show that the downtrend is continuing. But until then, it is swinging higher. In fact, if we go from the most recent higher low, which is this level here, it got confirmed when price broke above the high and close. If we go from there and add the Fibonacci retracement tool, a tool I like to use, you can see that in the optimum trade entry, these three lines here, price clearly came down on the daily and it came to these three levels. We got a nice pin bar rejecting the lower levels here, and it's starting to curl upwards. If today's candle closes green, to me that signifies that the euro may continue pushing up this week, and I would be aiming for the next daily level, which would be the top here. So from that daily analysis, I will be leaning towards being more long biased for this week on the euro dollar. Moving on into USDCAD now on the weekly, and last week closed a very nice strong bullish candle. We pushed up, we closed up here at the highs, but we didn't quite break this key weekly level here. In fact, I'm going to just add a line just to represent that level right now. And moving to the daily for USDCAD, this is quite a nice chart because recently on the daily we do have quite a nice uptrend. And from this, I would be looking for longs just as part of this trend continuation. As you can see, we have been making higher highs, a higher low, higher high, higher low. And we broke above this and we made this new high here. We are currently in a push phase on USDCAD. So from my day trading strategy, I would simply be looking for breaks of the previous daily high, a retest together with other factors for a continuation long trade. But long term for this week, because it's already in a push phase, it's already pushed above this high, it's pushed up quite a lot and it's come to this weekly level, it may indicate that we may need a pullback on USDCAD, so we may see a drop this week. Now, this could be a reaction to this level. It doesn't immediately mean it's going to reverse, but it could do. It may struggle at this level, only time will tell. But the best thing I like to do is to estimate where price may pull back to. And to do that, I will just apply the Fibonacci retracement to the previous higher low and drop this at the high here. And the 3 optimum trade entry levels line up here. So I'll just add a box to represent those and remove the fib. And I like to do that because it's just nice to keep an eye on if price does end up dropping down, where it may drop to, where it may find some resistance. And I tend to look for something like this to form, to basically gauge where might be a nice place to shift my directional bias. So for now on USDCAD, I am long biased, but I'll be looking for breaks of the previous daily high. But as we know, there's a lot of news due out this week for USD and the Canadian dollar, and it may be a choppy week, especially towards the end of the week with NFP. So I might be hanging fire on this pair for this week. So just drop into a faster time frame to share with you how I'd look for this for a day trading analysis approach. Just for the record, I am certainly a trader that focuses on price action together with Fibonacci. And I don't really use indicators in a generic way like moving averages or stochastics or anything like that. But I've recently found this indicator, and all this does is save me time because it just shows the previous daily high and the previous daily low. And from there, I'll add an alert at these levels because I'm not really interested in the in-between. For me, that is no man's land. It's where price can be quite choppy. So as the New York session approaches, if price pushes up, it pushes past the previous daily high, it sets off my alert, so I will then look at the charts. And then I will look for some sort of pattern as per my strategy to get into this for a continuation long. And that's pretty much what I'm going to be looking for on USDCAD for today and maybe for tomorrow. Moving on to Australian dollar, US dollar on the weekly. Once again, all I do is just see what the previous week closed. And last week we had a bullish doji. So although long term on the weekly, it's certainly been coming down, we seem to be in a little period of pullback. So temporarily, this may be an opportunity for longs on a day trading perspective, but if you are a swing trader on Australian dollar, US dollar, if you are looking for long-term opportunities, long term, it is still in this downtrend, but it seems to just be pulling back. So it may be pulling back and may give you an opportunity to get short if you're looking to hold this for a long time. It really depends on what your strategy is and what time frame you're looking at. Drop into the daily, I like to just establish the market structure. So as we said, price has been coming down, making lower lows and lower highs. It broke that low, it made a low here, it made a new lower high here. We've got a little pullback here with this one, another one here, and that was confirmed when that one closed just slightly below this one. I'm looking at the bodies only. And then here we are in this period of pullback. It is currently inside this pullback. It's kind of ranging, but we're still technically in this long-term downtrend. And I'll just mark the previous lower high here just so we can see. And once again, just to see how it reacts, I'm going to add the Fibonacci retracement from the previous lower high, and I've dropped that at the lows just to mark these 3 optimum trade entry levels here. Now we've already had 2 reactions that you can see. If I zoom in here, once price pulled back, we had a reaction here where the wick rejected and pushed down. Didn't break this low though. It came up and it had another reaction with this large bearish engulfing candle, but it still didn't break this low, and now we're pushing up. So that could mean that price is looking for a deeper pullback. It may need a third reaction here, or it may even come and push above this level. It may indicate a larger pullback or maybe even a reversal. So again, it's in this little period of pullback where it's not totally clear whether the trend will continue down or whether we'll get a directional change and look for the upside. So how does this affect me for my day trading strategy? Well, again, there are always opportunities on this kind of market for quick scalping opportunities, breaks over previous daily lows or highs. But because we're in this range, we're in the inside of this pullback, again, those trading opportunities wouldn't be what I would classify as A quality. They would be more risky. Moving on to the last major pair in my analysis today, that is USD Swiss franc. And here we are on the weekly time frame. Now, I actually took a really nice trade for this pair on Friday. I took a long, I got a part of this push up here. Now, it's quite interesting looking at this on the weekly because long term it's been in this downtrend, making lower lows and lower highs. But we've got a big push down here, and since then price has been climbing up, and it actually closed above this previous lower high. Now looking closely at this pattern here, the way that we had another push down, a large bearish candle, but since then it has been climbing up and pushed and closed above this. It's very clear, and that followed up by this little pullback and then a bullish engulfing close here. To me, that's a nice reversal indicator using price action, because we've broken the previous structure, we've pulled back and we've made a bullish close. This could indicate a trend shift for USD Swiss. I'm not saying that is what it is. Nobody can be that clear about the markets, but I am quite open to the idea that this is turning into a long biased market. And you can see the same pattern here on the daily. The way we had this big drop down, we've climbed above it and pushed out with momentum, pulled back, and now we seem to be pushing up again. So I'm just going to mark this level here on the daily, because that would be the next key level that I'd like to keep an eye on. But until we reach that level, I think price has got room to push up to that level, and I'd be looking for longs. A couple of options to trade this. You can look for pullbacks during this push phase, or again, you can look for breaks of the previous daily highs or lows, but I'll be focusing on the highs. And just drop into the 4 hourly time frame. I've used the Fibonacci from the previous pullback here, just to gauge where those 3 levels of optimum trade entry are, because at the moment we have this most recent low that formed after this push up, but since then price has just been ranging, so it may need to pull back, and that might be a level it pulls back to, or we may get a break above those levels. They're the 2 different options I'll be watching this week for USD Swiss. And finally, I'm going to finish off by having a quick look at Bitcoin. It's not a pair that I day trade, just for the record, but I do look into Bitcoin every now and again because I do have some hold in this long term. And it's come to my attention recently that it started to push up again. So I thought I would have a little look and see what is going on in price action. Because Bitcoin, as you guys know, has been really choppy. It had this huge push up. We had some incredible highs during 21, but since then it has been coming down. So during last year it pretty much was in this downtrend, and structurally looking on the weekly here, it had this most recent lower high form when it made this new low here, which was at the end of last year. But since then it's been consolidating, and in March of this year we had a strong push above this level with momentum. It formed a new structure here. We had a couple of pullbacks underneath this structure. The last couple of weeks, we've had a strong push above this level. So it looks like it's starting to swing higher. Now, could this be the start of a new long-term uptrend for Bitcoin? It could well be. If we zoom out and look at the overall lifespan of Bitcoin, it's certainly in an uptrend, because from the beginning we've only been going up. We've just been having some severe pullbacks, but ultimately it has been going up. In fact, let's go from the long-term recent low, which is this level down here, and use the fib, dropping it at the high. And you can see it matches up almost perfectly with those 3 optimum trade entry levels. In fact, look at the 62 level here. It is the exact same level that price was under for some time. And since then, we've had a break and retest of. I mean, that's pretty amazing. That could mean that Bitcoin is certainly starting to push up. And if it is, it's got the potential to push all the way back up to the highs here and maybe even get a break. The thing that I find quite interesting is if we look from this previous pullback from the high here and then the little pullback low here, that is how much Bitcoin pushed up from there. So if we apply the same logic to this pullback here, it could have room to go all the way up to 62,000. So if you're thinking about getting into Bitcoin, this could be a pretty good point to get in, because we're still very far from the highs. So it's a nice entry to get in for long if you're happy to hold it. That includes my analysis for this week trading Forex, and also a little insight into Bitcoin. If you've enjoyed this video, please let me know by hitting that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel below so that I know to make more of these videos. And if you've got any questions or any comments, do leave them below. It's always great to hear from you guys. All the resources, all the software used in the video are linked below, and I'll catch you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.